Okay, so I received another question, and this is from section 1.3, where I'm given the function f of x is equal to, and I have x plus 2 divided by x squared plus 3cx plus 6. They're asking me to answer in a box, basically the interval, where c falls between these two values. The question stem says, find all values of c such as the domain of the following function is set to all real numbers. So they want basically the domain of the function to be all real numbers. Okay, so what we need to think about here is going back to some basics, and we need to consider and look at this through the eyes of what is the discriminant. So if I'm looking at this in the set of all real numbers, the x squared plus 3cx plus 6 in this case cannot equal 0, and the discriminant must be less than 0. So that means that, if you recall, the discriminant is the b squared minus 4 ac part of the equation. So in this case our b value is 3c, so we would have 3c squared, and then we would have the ac minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 6, right? And so in this case this cannot equal 0 for this statement to be true for the all real numbers. We end up with 9c squared minus 24 is less than 0. And we would end up solving in this case if we would take the 24, move it to the other side. So we would add 24 here and here. We would get 9c squared is less than 24. We would then divide by 9 on both sides. This would give us, we would end up with c squared is less than 24 over 9. Alright, and if we take the square root of both sides, we should obtain our c value, which in this case, let's see here, we would get c less than the square root, well, you could figure it out, but 24 over, square root of 24 over 9, and greater than the negative of that. Alright, and you would solve for that. And we should end up, let's see here, if we split this up, we could split this up so that we have 4 and 6. So we could take the 24 and split it up into square root of 4 and square root of 6. Obviously the 9, square root of 9 is simply going to give us the 3. This would give us 2 square root 6. Right? So we would end up with 2 square root 6 over 3. Final answer, negative 2 square root 6 over 3, less than c, less than 2 square root 6 over 3. So you would have the plus and minus of it. And this would be the values that c can actually have to make this true in terms of making the domain all real numbers. So again, the trick was to look at the denominator, focus on the discriminant value, and using the values where b is 3c, a is 1, and our c is 6, we would use the value or the formula b squared minus 4ac, which is our discriminant, and we would set that less than 0 for this to be true. Okay? And so your final solution would be that.